Hey y'all, what's up? I'm here for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 9, episode 13. So Sheree, she's, talking to Marlo. We're still like on the glamping trip and everything. They finally, made it to their destination or whatever. So Sheree and Marlo are supposed to be sharing a room. Sheree is, telling her that it's a rumor going around about one of the ladies being gay. Of course, that lady being Candy. And Marlo, but Sheree doesn't want to say who the rumor is about. But Marlo already no. She who you talking about, Candy and everything? Because I already heard shit about her, whatever, this, that, and third. And Sheree is I'm just tired of the fakeness. I'm tired of 1 minute, these bitches keying and everything cool, whatever. Then the next minute they talking shit about each other, which is true. Once again, Sheree. But at the same time, you just messy as fuck. You and Marlo are both messy. But anyways, moving on from that. So the first night, we know that they're going to thug it out in the wilderness and everything. And they're sitting by the fire or whatever. And they have their little Ask Marlo segment and everything. Marlo, she, is talking shit about Kenya's eyelashes or whatever. Talking about some, they're too thick and too big. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, okay. And what I'm saying, and Kenya, she's like, was that a read? Because I don't feel red. I said, yeah, Kenya, I don't feel like you was red either, because that shit was real whack. Okay. So anyways, moving on from that, Lauren, she's asking, Marlo, well, why did you and Kenya fall out or whatever? Marlo's like, well, pretty much, Kenya didn't invite me to her birthday and her housewarming. And Kenya like, girl, we already talked about this. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And Kenya, she's also saying, are we really doing this right now? And I already apologized to you 1,000 times or whatever. And Marlo's like, bitch, no the fuck you didn't. And Marlo starts to shade Kenya, talking about some, Kenya can't even keep a broke man. And then this is where the conversation went all the way left. So, Marlo, she says, you gotta be a fucked up person if your mother don't even want to be bothered with you. Or something gotta be wrong with you if your mother don't even want to be bothered with you or whatever. Something along those lines and everything. We already know the relationship with Kenya's mom is non-existent. So, they all are just like, oh my god, did she really say that shit? You know what I'm saying? And I'm in the middle with the situation, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because on one hand, I do feel like that was real fucked up for Marlo to say, you know what I'm saying, low blown like that. Like, you and her were friends at one point in time, and for you to sit up here, you know what I'm saying, knowing that that's something that has kind of, there's something that she's had to deal with her whole life and everything, and now that y'all not friends no more, you want to, throw that in her face and everything. That is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It is fucked up. And then from my understanding, from what I hear, Marlo didn't have the best relationship with her parents either. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, why would you, sit up here and say that to somebody if you kind of went through something similar and you know how that feels? You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, because Marlo says, because they were telling her, come on, Marlo, that was a low blow and everything. And Marlo like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she sit up here and say fucked up shit to people all the goddamn time, and don't nobody say nothing, this, that, and third. Which I do agree. Kenya does say some fucked up shit to people or whatever. She has low blow or whatever. But then when somebody does it to her, she wants to sit up here and play the victim or whatever and hide her motherfucking hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, she'll sit up here and throw shit, but then hide her motherfucking hand. Then when somebody do it to her, it's a problem or whatever, this, then third. But at the same time, I'm not going to say Kenya has just low blowed. I'm pretty sure all of these ladies, a majority of these ladies have low blowed. They low blow each other. You feel what I'm saying? And also, too, when you're in an argument with somebody, you're arguing to win. Even if you gotta say, even if you have to say some real fucked up ass shit to a person, you know what I'm saying? The whole point of the argument is, to kind of win it, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make it right, though. It doesn't make it right to low blow somebody, though. But sometimes, like I said, that ends up happening when you get into an argument with somebody and you just trying, you're trying to win the argument. So you'll say anything possible to try to hurt them or whatever. So Marlo, she continues on talking about some, you want to be like me and all this other stuff. Kenya like, girl, nobody want to be no prostitute or whatever. Phaedra, next thing you know, she's trying to calm the situation down and tells them why they're here. They're trying to, you know, build their sisterhood and all this other stuff, and that they need to try to change and everything. So the situation was kind of diffused from there, whatever. But moving on from that, we get to the next day and everything. We come to find out Marlo said, fuck y'all bitches, I'm going back to the cabin or whatever, even if I gotta die to get there. Like, she got up like, what was it, 2 or 3 something in the morning, she said, and walked all the way back to the cabin in them hills and everything. Okay, so they're having breakfast or whatever, and you know, they talk about Phaedra's divorce and everything, and Phaedra's like, you know, it's almost finalized, and then here go Candy talking about something. Well, I thought, you know, if a person was in jail, you could get a divorce within 30 to 60 days. And then that's when Portia was like, well, Apollo, he didn't want it. You know, he refused to sign the papers and everything. And Phaedra was like, you know, I didn't know Candy went to school for law or whatever, but I think I know more about the law than she does and everything. But I'm glad that she's reading. I was just like, I mean, Candy girl, you should have just not even said nothing. But anyway, so next thing you know, Cynthia, she brings up her divorce or whatever and says that it's going to wrap up pretty soon and everything. And, you know, Peter doesn't even want to be at the settlement signing and everything. And she just, you know, she kind of feels sad about that because she wants closure. That's why she wants him to show up, you know, in person. You know, she just likes to be mentally prepared for situations. And sometimes, you know, I understand the whole thing about closure, but sometimes you're not going to get the closure that you want for a person if that person doesn't want to, you know, talk to you, or if they don't want to be, you know, like with this situation at the settlement signing or whatever. Sometimes you're not going to get that closure. Sometimes closure is just, you know, moving on. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, sometimes closure is just moving the hell on. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, Cynthia, she thinks that she won't ever get married again. And, you know, the girls, they're trying to encourage her and, you know, give her some real sound advice and everything. And I thought that was pretty cool for them to do that or whatever, you know. So moving on from that, we get to Kenya's activities that she has planned for the girls and everything. The first activity, they were like, you know, in these little small boats or whatever. Is it called canoeing or kite? I get all these water activities confused. Y'all forgive me. But, you know, they had the little paddles or whatever that they had to use or whatever to move the boat and shit. And Sheree, she's overreacting, freaking out about the bugs. And, you know, like, she's just doing the absolute most. She's like, oh, my God, this water stink. Get me out of here. And all this carrying on and whatnot. So she gets out or whatever. She's over it. The next activity they do is free falling. And you know, Cynthia doesn't do it, Phaedra doesn't do it, and I think Sheree didn't do it either. But everybody else did it. Portia, you know, she was the last to do it, and she was crying, you know, and overwhelmed or whatever because she thought she was going to die and all this other stuff. And I was kind of cracking up at her or whatever. I was like, oh my God, girl, really? But I ain't gonna lie, I probably would have did the same thing because, yeah, being up in the air and then, you know, falling down, yeah, I probably would have did the same thing Portia was doing. So then we get to the dinner that they have. So Kenya, she brings up the situation of her and Marlo from the day before, whatever, and she's like, you know, I don't want to talk about the actual exchange that happened between me and you, but you know, I want to apologize, you know, if I, you know, for hurting you or whatever, because that wasn't my intentions and everything. You know, as far as, you know, I'm not inviting her to her birthday and the housewarming or whatever. So Marlo, she like, oh my God, I'm about to cry or whatever, this, that, and third. And she apologizes too because she knows that she was wrong and realizes that the shit that she said to Kenya was real fucked up and it wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? So next thing you know, Marlo has, you know, she decides, let's fuck up the sisterhood and bring up some real messy shit, okay? So, Marlo is like, well, now that we got that out the way, I feel like we need to clear the air some more. She's like, yeah, so, I've been hearing some things about somebody or whatever, and Candy, I want to ask you, are you a lesbian? They all looking at each other like, what? Like, Marlo's like, I mean, I've been hearing, people talking about her behind her back or whatever, this, that, and the third. And, Candy like, well, who said that or whatever? And then, Kenya follows up asking, and then motherfucking Portia going talking about something. Who said that? Like as if she wasn't one of the motherfuckers involved. Girl, I was like, really, Portia? So Sheree, she interjects or whatever and says that it was a private conversation that she wanted to wait to have with all of them or whatever. It wasn't supposed to be brought up right then and there and everything. I said, Sheree, please shut the fuck up. You told Marlo because you wanted her to bring it up. You got tired of being the messy motherfucker, so you wanted the person that you know is messier than you to bring the shit up. Like, who the fuck you think you fooling? Like, come on now. Like, seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sheree, please. So anyways, not Candy. Sheree is like, she doesn't want to say any names and everything. They pressure her, they pressuring her to say it and all this other stuff. Sheree, she's trying to get a confession out of the person who said it or whatever. And Sheree like, Portia, she kept on saying who or whatever, and Sheree like pretty much like that Portia have amnesia and everything and all this other stuff, and she's like, and then Phaedra just over there sipping hard on that wine and all this other stuff. So then Sheree decides to take her upon herself. She was like, well, me and Portia had a conversation. Me and Portia had a conversation or whatever, this, that, and the third. And like I said, Phaedra and cut just sipping her wine and shit. And Sheree pretty much is reminding Portia of the conversation that herself and Portia had or whatever when they had met up with Candy that time or whatever, and things got heated between Portia and Candy kind of sort of then and everything. And Portia's like, I don't remember, what I'm saying, I'm trying to remember and all this other stuff. And then, Portia was like, well, I mean, it was probably a shady moment and everything. And she, she finally owns up to it after 2 goddamn minutes then went past or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She finally owns up to what she said or whatever. And she's like, but I mean, everybody talks shit about each other. That's true. Y'all talk shit about each other. But anyways, Candy is like, well, why you just ain't say that from Jump Street? Don't sit up here and act stupid like you don't know what the fuck is going on, and then all of a sudden you want to be like, oh yeah, I said that. Portia like, I mean, honestly, I don't even remember or whatever, just down the third. Yeah, okay. Portia be saying shit or whatever, and then, or either somebody be saying shit to her about somebody, and then she be a culprit in the shit or whatever, and then when somebody confronts her about it, she want to act clueless. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl. But anyway, so Portia says it was because, Candy was talking about her sex life or whatever. Once again, Candy is like, bitch, I didn't talk about your sex life. I just said that you and Block dated. They flash back again where, Sheree and Candy had their conversation. We clearly saw that Candy never said that Portia and Block fucked. So, Candy is like, I didn't say shit about you behind your back and everything or whatever. And pretty much, yeah, Candy, whatever. I mean, if she did ever say anything about behind Portia's back, we did see that she said it to Portia's face and everything. And Portia and Sheree started going back and forth. She was like, what does this have to do with you calling her a lesbian? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, Sheree, you kind of got a point there. Because, she's like, Portia is deflecting or whatever from the real situation at hand, because it's like, okay, who gives a fuck about you in this whole Block situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, we asking you, did you say that Candy was a lesbian? Yay or nay? So anyways, Portia is like, everybody has said shit between me, you, and Phaedra. You know what I'm saying? And Portia, she brings up the whole Shamia situation or whatever, and I got confused because I'm like, okay, is she trying to say that Sheree said that shit about Shamia, about, you know, Kandi and Shamia fucking? Because if that's the case, you know damn well Portia, that Sheree did not say that shit. Phaedra said that shit, you know what I'm saying? And Sheree's like, why the fuck is Phaedra just sitting there not saying shit in defense of Portia or whatever, this, that, and third, and Portia's supposed to be her friend? People been telling you to watch out, Portia, because Phaedra is shady, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she is supposed to be your friend, but every time you in the crossfire and it's some shit that's dealing with her too, she don't never have your back. Hell, even if it's some shit that ain't dealing with her, she don't never have your back, but you always have her back when it ain't no shit, when it's some shit that's not dealing with you. Like, what is that about? And it's like somebody else, I forgot who it was, somebody else pointed it out last week or whatever about how Kandi has had Phaedra's back. I mean, not Phaedra. Kandi has had Portia's back way more than Phaedra has, when Kandi and Portia, you know, when they was like that, when they was, you know, friends and everything. And that's true, because Kandi was one of the main people that had Portia's back when that whole shit with Kenya popped off or whatever, and, you know, trying to, you know, like, she was, there's a lot of situations that Kandi took up for Portia in, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so Portia is like, I mean, you know, she's telling Sheree, you bringing back bones and shit, and, you know, pretty much you bringing back all the wrong information and everything. And Sheree like, no, I'm very clear or whatever. She like, well, bitch, I guess I'm the bone carrier then or whatever. You know, she like, is there anything else I need to say or whatever, this, that, and third, you know, making a joke out of the whole bone carrier situation. And Kandi, she's like, well, let's make this clear. I'm very happy with my man and everything. And, you know, Kandi is like, yes, I have, you know, done some things with women, but, you know, I'm not the only one at this table. So she kind of, I think she glanced over at Portia or whatever. So Marlo is like, well, have you done anything with women, Portia? And, you know, Portia is like, I mean, that's my personal business or whatever. Okay, you know, I'm gonna just take that as a yeah, that you have. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Kandi is like, I haven't done any more than what the fuck Portia has done or whatever. And Portia like, what I do? Or whatever and everything. And Portia like, you don't know shit or whatever. And Portia's like, but I know shit about you and everything. And Kandi like, you don't know shit and all this other stuff. Like, let's please not go there. They going back and forth and everything. And all this other stuff. And Kandi, she's like, you know, I just don't like it when motherfuckers, you know, I just don't like it when motherfuckers talk shit and they've done the same shit and everything. And did y'all notice how they didn't even confront Phaedra? Because Portia she said that between me, you, and Phaedra, you know, to Sheree, she was saying between me, you, and Phaedra, we all have said some shit or whatever. Why they ain't call Phaedra's ass out while she was just sitting there sipping her wine? Child, please, I would call Phaedra's ass out. You know what I'm saying? So after dinner, they go into their little cliques or whatever. You know, Sheree and Marlo, they talking and everything. She's telling, you know, Sheree telling Marlo, I told you not to say shit or whatever, this, that, and the third. Portia, she's telling Lauren and Phaedra that Sheree is a mess box. Kandi, she's recapping the conversation with, who was she talking to? Kenya, Cynthia, and Hazel. Was it, is that who she was talking? I think that's who the people that she was talking to. But anyways, so Kandi pretty much knows that it was Phaedra that said some shit or whatever in regards to her and Shamia and everything. And, you know, Kandi is like that Portia when she drinks or whatever. She's an aggressive lesbian or whatever. So let's be clear and all this other stuff. Portia sitting up here saying she know a lot about Kandi or whatever. It's like, girl, y'all know a lot about each other. Y'all was cool. Y'all was friends at one point in time. I'm pretty sure y'all know shit about each other. So, like, seriously. So she pretty much don't want to be forced to say shit about Kandi. But, I mean, if she keep on, you know, talking out the side of her neck, then we can, you know, bring the shit back into town or whatever when they get back. into town and everything. And Candy pretty much is saying the same shit. She don't want to put Portia out there, but if she have to, she will. That, you know, pretty much was the episode. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys come back. Make sure you guys tap on that bell so you guys can get notified about every video that I put out. Alright, so I will see you guys later on. Peace.